Hello and welcome to 21 Questions by Trivia Tribe. My name is Mike van Acker and this podcast is a little thing that I do every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday. Thank you very much for coming to play. Let's get started. Question 1. Which character did Antonio Banderas voice in the Shrek movies? And Puss in Boots. Antonio Banderas, he voiced Puss in Boots. And Antonio Banderas is much more fun to say in that accent, because in my Australian accent, it'd just be Antonio Banderas, which is not as cool. Question 2, bit of history. Did World War I or World War II begin in 1939? That would be World War II, 1939 to 1945. Question 3. Which is the only vowel not in the word obstinate? Obstinate as in being stubborn. Obstinate is spelled O-B-S-T-I-N-A-T-E. So A-E-I-O. There is no U. Just like this podcast. There'd be nothing without you. I'll probably edit that out. Question 4. True or false? The word gladiator comes from the Latin word gladius, which translates back to fool. That's actually false. The Latin word gladius translates back to sword, which makes sense, doesn't it, being a gladiator? Question 5. Which word that starts with A is the term given to when a monarch voluntarily steps down from the throne? Monarch abdicates from the throne, or abdication. Either of those. Question 6, be afraid everyone, it's a maths question, it's got a fraction in it, it's got a number with a couple of decimal points in it, anything could happen, but let's just have a go and see what happens. Question 6, which has a greater value, 6/9, as in the fraction 6/9, or 0.55? I promise it's really not that hard. 6/9 when expressed as a decimal point, that would be 0.66 recurring versus 0.55. Therefore, 6/9 is bigger of those two numbers. If you follow where I've drifted, are you all right? Are you okay? I know some of you will be sitting there going, absolutely, that's easy maths, but I also know some people freeze up when it comes to maths questions. Question 7, was Daniel Boon, as in the American pioneer and frontiersman, a real person or a fictional character pretty much made up for the books and the TV shows? Daniel Boon was a real person. He was immortalized in the 1960s TV show that had the song, Daniel Boon was a man, he's a big man. Now, some of you would remember that TV show and were singing along with me there, and some of you are going, that is so cringe, I wish you'd stop that. And you're both right. Okay, after question 7, we did the first clues for the Who Am I for the episode today. It's a person. Here we go. Who am I? I was born in 1953 in Georgia, USA, and first found fame in the world of professional wrestling. My first name was Terry, but I became famous under a stage name that both started and finished with the same letter. By that I mean an alliterated stage name. Now that's all I'm going to give you for right now, but I reckon a lot of you will know who that is already. Question 8. What famous film director's last and most successful film was The 10 Commandments? Think, I'm ready for my close-ups, Mr. DeMille. Cecil B. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-ups. I think that's a quote from Sunset Boulevard. Question 9. In which 1991 movie do Gina Davis and Susan Sarandon go on the run after shooting an assailant? That'd be Thelma and Louise, remembered by many as being one of Brad Pitt's early roles. Question 10. Shakespeare. Everyone sit up straight. It's Shakespeare, bit of culture. Question 10. From which Shakespearean play does the quote, "To thine own self be true," come? To thine own self be true. Now that is from Hamlet. Polonius says it to his son. I think his son's name is Laertes. And it's part of the speech that also includes neither a borrower nor a lender be, and other good bits of advice. Okay, question 11. True or false? The Falabella is one of the smallest breeds of horse in the world. Is that true? Is that false? The Falabella is a teeny tiny horse. That's actually true. Falabella is also the name of a major South American department store chain, and it's a famous, sustainable luxury vegan handbag range by Stella McCartney. Stella McCartney, is she any relation to Paul? I think she's Paul's daughter, isn't she? Question 12. Was the Manhattan Project A, the construction of a subway line in New York City, or B, the development of the first atomic bomb? The Manhattan Project, B, the development of the first atomic bomb. Question 13. We're talking exotic fruits from around the world. Which country was the first to cultivate the lychee? It was around 2000 BC. Do you think it was Egypt, Brazil, or China? The lychee, back in the day, was first cultivated by China. While we're back in ancient times, let's talk poetry. Question 14. Was the poet Homer associated with the ancient Greeks or the ancient Romans? So Homer is associated with the ancient Greeks. Think the Iliad and the Odyssey. Good, you probably know those well. Probably recite them to your kids at bedtime, do you? I know I do. All right, more clues now for the Who Am I? We're talking the wrestler whose real name was Terry. Who am I? In the 1980s, I became one of the biggest stars in my sport. I helped bring it into the mainstream. I was huge. I was known for my bandanas, my handlebar moustache, and for appearing in movies, including as Thunderlips, of all things, in Rocky III, and as myself in Muppets from Space. Who's that? More clues after question 20. For now, though, let's bring the last of the general knowledge questions home with question 15. Complete the title of this 1987 movie starring Steve Martin and John Candy. Planes, trains, and what? That's planes, trains, and automobiles. Question 16. In maths, what is the answer to any number multiplied by 0? It's only got to be 0, doesn't it? If you've got 15 lots of nothing, that's nothing. Therefore, 0. Question 17. Which Christian name links a former president of France, a world-famous explorer, and a now-retired South African international cricketer? That'd be Jacques, as in Jacques Chirac, Jacques Cousteau, and the cricketer Jacques Kallis. Question 18. In which century did the artist Salvador Dali live? Salvador Dali lived in the 1900s, 1904 to 1989, so that's the 20th century. Salvador Dali, fascinating guy, absolutely worth a Google. Question 19 in this podcast is always, are still alive or not so much? I give you a name and you decide if you think they are still alive or not so much. Today, Brigitte Bardot, the French actress, singer and animal rights activist. Is Brigitte Bardot still alive or not so much? Brigitte Bardot is no longer with us. She died last year, 2025. Question 20 is a music question for you. Did the Spice Girls have their first hit song, Wannabe, in the first or second half of the 1990s? Wannabe, that would be in 1996, so the second half of the 1990s. Tell you what I want, what I really, really want. As in, if you want to be my lover, that thing. Final clues now for the Who Am I? It's the wrestler. Who am I? My career took a hit in the 2000s when I was involved in a number of scandals that included racism, assault allegations, and steroid use. I even faced a legal challenge from Marvel over the use of part of my stage name, which in turn I borrowed from one of their famous comic book characters. I am Hulk Hogan. But you probably knew that already, did you? Hulk Hogan is the Who Am I for today. We move now to the player questions. That's where you, the listener, has the opportunity to send me a trivia question that has caught your eye, and we'll see if everyone else knows it as well. Last episode, Karen sent me, what were the bronze medals made of for the Sydney 2000 Olympics, which is a really interesting question. I googled this. Turns out, back in the day, Australia had copper coins. They were 1 and 2 cent pieces, and we did away with those a while ago when 1 and 2 cents had no purchasing power whatsoever. And all those coins, it turns out, were melted down, and they used some of them to make the bronze medals for the Sydney 2000 Olympics. Karen, What a great question. I had no idea. Love that. This episode, my little friend Olivia, I think Olivia might be 10 or 12, I'm really not sure, but Olivia plays at my Wednesday night gig with her family at North Leagues Club at Kalanga, and she gave me this question. The question is, what is a baby platypus called? Like a baby dog is a puppy, a baby cat's a kitten. What's a baby platypus called? Olivia, what a great question. I'll reveal the answer to that next episode. Thank you very much. If you'd like to send me a trivia question like Karen and Olivia did, send it to me via my Facebook page, 21 Questions by Trivia Tribe. Logo on that will be the same as the logo on the podcast app you're listening to this on now. Or you can email me direct. My email address is mike@triviatribe.com.au. I'd love to hear from you. I'll acknowledge your message if you send me one, and you will hear your question come up in a future episode of the show. This podcast comes out every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday. I love that we all meet here every couple of days and play some trivia together. Thank you very much. My name's Mike van Acker. I love you. Catch you next time.